What's up, guys? Ed from Kansas City. So, what is the deal? We got those other two chains in today. Got one of them in yesterday. We got the other end today, which is Saturday. So, yeah, I'm. These are two of the most expensive pieces that I was telling you about of the jewelry that we got, and so. Uh, I figured I'd go ahead and do the video. Now I want to do two videos with this one because I want to show you the before and after because there's something I do need to do. But um, I've personally have the chain I got in yesterday. I personally examined it, and I heard some movement back there. I thought that was the dog, or is it the damn cat? I do mean damn. But anyway, uh, the dog wanted to come in. It was doing a lot of popping out there. The thunder sounded like fireworks. Real, I'm talking about divine fireworks, real fireworks, not no, fireworks you could purchase with money. These was the real deal. When God show out, he make cars pull over. I'm talking about get up on the bridges looking for shelter. Just can you even imagine when he comes back? Mm. My goodness, it's crazy. But anyway, I thought I'd mention that. Let's get into this video. Okay, so let's get into the first chain we got in here. So this chain here, here's the story behind this one, guys. This one is less than 14K. It is, when the test was done on it, it registered at 12.5K. Here's the gold carat there, right there. So now the thing about this chain here, it is a very nice chain. It does have some really good serious weight to it. It is something similar to a Byzantine chain. It is 12K, which some of you know that 12K is, there's a lot of jewelers who may make 14K or put the stamp on it that it is 14K, but in reality, it turns out to be, say, 13 point whatever, 12. It could be like this one in this sense. It could turn out to be realistically 12 point whatever, 85 carats. And it has, that 53.5% gold as opposed to that 58.5, which is 14 karat. But the 417, the 41%, is 10K. So it is better than 10K, and it's better than 10K, but less than 14. It is a very brilliant chain through and through. I have personally tested it with 14K acid as well as with 10K, and the 14K barely did really any dissolving. To be honest, it would, I mean, you could hardly notice if it were even dissolving anything. And then the 10K, of course, it did not dissolve anything. Now, the chain did initially have it did have a tarnishing. Let's see, it says 2, 4, 6 right in here. You can almost see it in there a little bit, which I did buff it. I did clean it with everything, and I did buff it as well. Keep in mind that this part right here, this piece you see right here, it's also going to be the piece I use to scrape See if I can spin that a little bit to show you guys a little bit, if possible. This was a piece that I used when I did the scraping on it. Right in there, as you can see. I think you can possibly see that right in there. Yeah, you can see right there where I scraped it when I was using it to scrape on the block to kind of to test it, and I did buff it. So uh, yeah, it's a very great chain. It's a good chain. I like the chain. It is 18 inches long. Now, here's the story about this chain that I am going to take care of. At some point, whoever purchased this chain or whoever had this chain, they ended up at some point, they replaced the clamps. And instead of putting a 14 karat clamps on there or a 10 point or 10 karat clamps on here, they just put a heavy, sturdy sterling silver or gold plated sterling silver clamps on here, as you can see. If I turn it around, you probably can see it better. It's hard to see, but this particular thing, when I was testing this the uh, on the block, of course, it dissolved it, and then also you could also see the silver kind of come out or scrape away as I was vigorously scraping it up against the testing block when I was doing the testing. So there you have that. So this part here is sterling silver, uh, and then the chain in itself is 12K. Uh, and as I said, I did test it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply I'm going to replace these. Okay, let's get another see of this. I'm using my Samsung camera this time, which is not as good as the Apple one, but you can tell the difference with the you can tell the difference of the color from the 12K from to the other one that is basically faded or you know not uh, not real gold through and through in comparison. So there's a just a big difference. It's kind of hard to see with this particular camera, but it's pretty visible when I look at it through the eye. I think if I use the 10 by 21, we might can see a better difference here. Let's see if we can see anything. If that's possible. You can see on the sterling silver, on that part, you can see some differences. It's really difficult. I think I have a bad angle as well because I'm getting a lot of reflection. Maybe if I turn it upside down, we get a different picture. But let me see if I can switch that, guys, to where I'm not getting so much. I'm getting what I want and not because all I'm getting is a lot of the light in front ahead of us. All right, so Yeah, this ain't coming out like I want it at all. And it's probably more noticeable when you look at the opposite end of the clamp in comparison to this one. When they plated it, you can definitely tell they use the same type of, I think that one gives us a lot more detail. It's a lot more detail. And this says on here, I think it says absolutely nothing. Something at some point was on there, I suppose, or scraped down. But on here, you can see a lot of the gold that has wore off of the clamp. And that's the thing too. It makes me wonder also. Uh, it makes me wonder also. This gold plated part here. This clamp part is the link or the loop right here. This loop is that loop 12K as well. And this part here is the part that the faded part is that the part that is simply gold plated. That's what it makes me wonder. And what I'll probably do, since I'm getting this replaced tomorrow, I'll probably put some acid on it tonight and see what happens with it. As a matter of fact, we probably can do something like that now, where I can tell really on this clamp here. It looks like that clamp there. It's hard to tell. Indeed, it really is. It's difficult to tell with the shine. So we know that this part here is 925, but I'm wondering about the actual clamp there. And maybe whoever had it at first thought that this piece here was actually, I don't know, I can't say they thought it was actually real, because if that's the case, then it would have, let's say it would have, um, it would have been noticeable right here unless they just didn't know the numbers. So what I'm going to do is, while I got you guys on camera, I'm gonna put some acid on this loop here that's holding the 95925, and let's see what it do. Okay, so here we have some 10K tester here, and what I'll do is I'll put a little bit on the clamp here part, just a little drop. My brother has a my brother JT has a you can see there's a 10K one there, so I'll just put a little drop here on the, and let it kind of just drip onto the clamp there, and I'll put some on this side as well. And we'll see what it do. And I want to put a little bit just right here on the item itself, right there. As you can see that, I'm gonna put a little bit right there as well. There's a drop right there. So one there and one there. And let's let that do what it do. And I'm gonna close this 10K. back up without putting acid on myself. All right. And there you see it right there. And it's on there, and so far, oops. I can move this over a little bit. So the acid's on there, and so far, I'm not getting. I'll just zoom in on one of them right quick. The acid's on there. The 10K is on there, and it has not affected the. It has not affected. I do see. It looks like that that clamp, as you guys can see, it looks like that clamp is turning colors. The chain has not been affected by it. As you guys can see that, do you see that? Right before your eyes, that clamp looks like it's turning to silver or something. Let's go over to the other one. Let's go decrease a little bit. We can see it. The clamp is turning to a different color. If I had something I could situate it a little bit. I can turn this over a little bit maybe. Because the acid did kind of go through. And if I could turn this one, I can see that one looks a little, that color on that clamp as well looks a little changed. Let's turn it over and see what it looks like. As you can see, the gold has not been, and you can see that acid dripping down there on that one. Running off of there. The chain in itself is unaffected. Appears to be unaffected. I'll zoom in on that. Oops. I'm trying not to get that onto the cloth. It's maybe too big. Just messing with the pixels. As you see that. Okay, so I'll turn this one back over to the original side that we had it on. And we'll take a look even further at it, if I can. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'll just do a quick pause and put some neutralizer on it so I can kind of handle it a little better, because I'm not going to put on gloves, which I should be. So we can see that piece over there does look a lot different than when we started completely. But the gold rings that's connected to the chain is completely, it hasn't changed at all. Even with this part over here, that dark spot you see there, even with it sitting in there, it hasn't affected it at all. I'll turn it over where you guys can see it. Hasn't affected the chain at all. So the chain is superior to 10 karat. It's unaffected by it. Whereas the clamp is, we see that clamp is not 10K. As you can see, it did. I'm gonna put some neutralizer on it, and then we can handle it a little bit. Right back. Okay, so we're back with the results. And now I know for certain, I want to show you guys again what we had went over first with this link here. Let me count the links. That's 2, 4, 6, 7 right here. So this link here that I was showing you guys in the beginning of the video, why it needed to be buffed and stuff like that, that one there that I buffed out and stuff, that is because uh, I learned just now, whoever initially tested it with acid, when I just did my test there, when I put the neutralizer on there, it just left it left a black um, uh, tarnished tar or whatever residue basically when it mixed with the acid, and that's what caused the dark tar to be on there that had, and I just buffed it off basically, buffed it and kind of like sanded it in a sense, just sanded it off. But as you can see in the chain here, as we look at this one first, this part first, the clamp looks a lot different. If I can get a focus here going right quick. It's kind of difficult to tell. It's kind of difficult to tell in the video the actual purity uh, of the. We can see on this part here, you can see where it's difficult to see because of, but on with the naked eye you can kind of you can better see with the naked eye the let me get that there. With the naked eye you can better see the difference. And then on this one here, when you look at it, focus in there, look at there, you can definitely see the difference in color than when we started the video. I'm trying to see that little clamp in there too. I'm sure he's got some acid on him as well. That could be, that little bitty clamp you see in there could be the original clamp that they had on this chain that probably broke off. It's difficult to tell if it's anything on there is affected. But I'm gonna be right back and start another part. Okay, so as I was saying, the it's kind of difficult to tell to what extent the it's difficult now with the eye. It's a little easier to tell, but even then, it's not as easy to tell. Now on the actual clamp, you can see the discoloration on there real good, but the ring, it's I wonder if it is the exact same carat as the necklace, which is 12K. But the ring and the clamp in itself, this someone just put something on there. So as you can see, like with this one, you can definitely tell much better with this one. You can definitely tell with this particular one here how the gold kind of just came off of there, or the platedness of it. So this part you can tell definitely, but even when I put some on the back of it, it's difficult to see. Maybe some people, like I say, some people probably scratch or try to create an opening for the acid to kind of pour into or something, but on this one, like I said, you can definitely see. And as I was saying about that other little link in there, this other little link, I don't know if this other little link, I probably can just take that off of there, guys. I mean, it's actually doing nothing. So I'm gonna just pause and take it off right quick. Yeah, this little link right here, guys. I'm willing to bet that this link here was the original link that was on there when the chain was first, probably made or whatever. And it was not, certainly not, uh, certainly not at all solid enough or sturdy enough to hold this size of a chain. As you know, this chain is, get the weight here out. This chain is every bit of with that sterling silver part on there. It is every bit of I know it's a little crooked there, guys, but let's go out some. It's about 74, whatever, 74, or it was close to 74. But I'm going to be putting another clamp on there, or original real clamp on there, and get rid of that um, this whatever this thing is here, this um, plated whatever. Okay, so yeah, I'm willing to bet that that little clamp there it's just there, as you can see. It's just sitting there. I'm definitely willing to bet that that is the original loop or link that was on to the original uh, clamps that this chain had. So there you guys see it. I did apply 10 karat to this. And when I did put the neutralizer onto uh, the metal there, onto to neutralize it, it did fizz up, with the acid and stuff, and created a black little coating there, which I really did hate. So that let me know that whoever was testing this the first time actually did that also with one of those center links as well, trying to test it. But that's something that can be easily polished out. So what I'm thinking, of course, is we'll cut this part out of here, get rid of it. This link here that's connecting the chain and the clamps part, that is suspect. It could be gold. I really am not sure. And as you can see there, I'm really not sure, guys. It really could be just as the clamp is. It could be gold. Let's look at it a little more. That one there could be. We know this isn't all that there isn't. But that clamp of it itself could be real gold. And we know this one isn't, though. This one here is, as you can see, that difference there, that sterling, that white look or silvery look. We know that one isn't. And then we can tell on the kind of the base there, the different color in the base, and the link that is connecting the clamps and the chain together. Difference in color there. So yeah, that was kind of good. That was cool. That was my actual first time actually testing. Like I said, the only thing I did initially was the way to basically scrape the gold on there. And of course, I scraped these things too. I scraped this guy right on the corner there. It's probably why you can somewhat see a little bit of silver somewhere. And I scraped this guy here quite a bit. on this, on the edge there. But it's very interesting. Uh, Garnet stone there. So it's very interesting. So I want to move to the next song that we got. That the next chain, the last one. We have one more coming that is a little different. Now this one here, guys, I really do. It is the first time I've seen one of these. Now we're all familiar with Turkish chains. You know I love those. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite chain. This one though is Turkish style. It's Turkish in form, which you know a Turkish chain is going to be basically four-dimensional like this. Like my chain here. A Turkish chain is basically going to be four-dimensional, you know, like this. I'm trying to focus in. It's going to be four-dimensional. It's going to have four sides, which we call three-dimensional, whatever, I guess, for whatever reason. But it's going to be like that. And but this particular chain here, that is that new generation type Turkish chains, you know. But shape, which we've all seen in lots of places, you know. It has that the larger some. But the difference between this one, it's not four-sided, it's only two-sided, so it's only two-dimensional. It has the link that's folded over, but on each side of the folded over gold bar or gold strip, which is a link, it it has two flowers or two sides on the front, and then two sides on the other side. So this is the first time I've ever seen a Turkish style chain look like this, and that was one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and snatch it. It still did cost, even though it's only 11 grams, 11.7 or so. Sorry about that, guys. Get this out the way. My scale could be a little bit off. So what do we have here? So there we have it, 11.8 grams. So yeah, there you have that. Get back set up now. So yeah, it's the first time I've seen one like that. I thought that was it's not really thick. It's only about 4 millimeters or so. You know, so not very thick at all. It is 14K, and it has the 14K on the clamps there. But I thought that was interesting, guys, for them to make a Turkish chain that kind of deviated, because normally you would have the loop. You'd have this loop here. You have this loop here. Then you have another loop going in the opposite direction, swinging back around. But they made it like that. So I could pull up a image for you guys to kind of show you show you guys just a second. So here's a picture of one on Etsy just for an example, guys. Just for an example. As you can see, you have the you know, the whole plot there is to have one loop cuff inside of another loop. I don't know if I kind of stated that, but there's probably a better dimension right there. So it's going to be, and the image kind of sucks a little bit, but take it down some, take the size down. So there you have it right there. And in this case, however, you just have a two-dimensional. You don't have a three-dimensional chain. So it's the first time I ever saw one like that. I've never even seen one like that in person, and I've never seen one like that in online anywhere. It was the first time I ever saw one like this. So there we have it, guys. We have it all wrapped up for you. Um, put my chain back on. I'll just set it to the side for now. Okay, so we have it all wrapped up for you guys. It's a done deal. So this particular chain is weighing, at least it's going to be at least 72 grams. When I'm done with it, it's going to be 12K. I will put a 14K clamps on there because that's what the guy has, the bigger enough size, because we don't want to fall back into the same situation where um, the first person who owned the chain or whoever owned the chain, and then uh, they had to put a different clamp on there, and turned out that that didn't work out so great. That little bitty clamp on there. So I like the chain. It's heavy. Both of these are 18 inches, and they both look great. The 10 karat definitely, or the 12 karat definitely has a really good shine to it as well. And so those two combined together are over $2,000. And so I'm hoping that I will certainly, with the combination of both of them, hopefully be able to double my money. More than likely, the bigger chain, I'll put probably more than likely both of those on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, but eBay to sell, as well as I have them at the flea market as well. So wherever they sell first, I'm fine with that. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And